Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have another scrap therapy process for you today, and I will be using bits from the Felicity Jane Grace kit. This is the kit for April. I'm using pieces that were left over from one of my creative team projects. So I'm using this rainbow paper from the kit, and I just trimmed down the part of it that I kind of cut stuff out of to fit the page. So I used one of the planner pages as a template to fit the page here, and I will be doing my page right on top. And so what I am, documenting here is my swatching. So I've been doing a lot of color swatching lately. 2 videos went up about swatching colors, like my Neo colors and watercolors and all sorts of things. But yeah, I've been just swatching all of the water soluble mixed mediums that I have laying around, and I'm housing all of those colors in my swatch book. And I was never a swatcher, like even in art school, never liked swatching anything. But for some reason, it's very therapeutic. It's a very nice, calming thing to do. And so lately I've been doing a lot of swatching. And so this picture is going to document that, just a lot of swatching. And yeah, so I'm playing around. That's what my scrap therapy book is for, is just playing around. And so since I am using scraps from a previous project, I decided to maybe try my hand at using some of the Felicity Jane packaging. And I really like saving the Felicity Jane packaging because it's cute, it's pretty, it's minimalist, and I really love the scallops on everything. And so I normally use it as layering pieces, like behind a photo, but the way that some of the packaging for like the ephemera and like little bits and stuff, the way that it's made, you can make a really cute scalloped pocket. And so that is what I am attempting to do here, is to turn this piece of packaging into a really cute scalloped pocket. And so what I ended up doing is I took a scrap piece of paper from the Bailey kit, which is the kit prior to the Grace kit, and I just covered over the branding, in the Felicity Jane branding, making sure to leave those Swiss dots, the black and white dots that's on the packaging, visible, because I love that. It's just another pattern. And so that's what I'm doing here, and I'm just kind of fussy cutting the best that I can the scallops around that paper. And this came together fairly quickly, but creating the pocket was a process. My initial idea was I was going to sew the pocket together, but my photo is so big and then I end up matting it on some Felicity Jane paper that I ended up having to do my whole clear tape thing that I did with my vellum pockets. I had to seal it with the clear tape and not stitch it through. So yeah, there's that. So this is a lovely paper that I'm going to cut into. This is a full 12 by 12 paper, but I really wanted to use that, I really wanted that mint green, but on the back of my photo I also wanted the yellow with the polka dots, with the white dot paper on the back, because I'm going to mat some of that lined paper on it to do my journaling. And so I cut into this lovely 12 by 12, but it's okay because I have another sheet of it. But when I went to cut, like even out my borders, I cut crooked, and so it was a process of getting this to not look so crooked, and I actually had to peel off the entire photo and put it back on the paper, and I ripped the paper and it was a mess. But you know what, it's fine. Like, I don't stress myself out over how I create in this little scrap therapy book, because it's so small and so simple, and it's not really telling a story. It's like I'm not creating a layout, even though this stuff kind of happens on layouts too. If you've watched any of my processes, you would know that I peel things up and reposition them and start again and all sorts of things, because it happens. But yeah, I'm just, I cut it down and then I had to peel it up to center the photo, and so that's what I'm struggling here with, is kind of putting it down, and it's still a little bit like wonky and crooked and stuff like that, but it's a little less noticeable now. And yeah, and so you don't see too much of the green now, but it's fine. So this is a piece that comes in the paper pack with the Felicity Jane kits, and it's like a month piece, but I don't actually use it for anything, and so I love how there's lined paper in the back so that I can use that part to journal. And so of course I cut it down, and I'm going to mat it on the back of that photograph so that I have some writing space there. But here I took out the lovely tabs from the Grace kit, and I'm looking for one that would work. I end up settling on that one, which is it's like a pink, it's like a coral color, but it has polka dots on it, and I thought it matched better with the paper from the Bailey kit. It just complements the dots on that pink paper well, and so I just kind of put it on the top there, and now I am putting my journaling space, and I'm off centering it because I'm going to use a piece from the ephemera pack that has like rainbow dots, and I thought that was really fitting for swatches, especially color swatches. And so I have to cut it down a little bit to fit on that, but I do that and then I stick it on right there, and that's it. That's the little photo journaling, hidden journaling thing that tucks into the pocket. So I think it was around this point where I realized that I probably wouldn't be able to sew the pocket shut, because the photo and how I matted it and everything ended up being too big. And so here I am peeling up the sides because that is how I roll, and I eventually go and fetch some clear tape. I really have to invest in a matte clear tape because this one is just the really cheapy shiny one, but you don't see it anyway. So I am closing the pocket shut with the clear tape, so it's it's a trick. And then I'm just re-adhering the paper that I lifted up back onto that, so you can't even see it. You can't even see the clear tape. And then the back of the pocket will be glued onto the page, so you won't even see the back portion of it either. And so that is what I'm doing here. Just closing up my pocket. So now that it's closed, the photograph fits really nicely there. And I want to embellish the front of the pocket, and so I have a lot of the ephemera bits, but I'm looking for some pieces that were left over from my other project that I made that you'll see on the Felicity Jane blog soon. And it's these butterflies, and I would have to move everything aside just to find them. And I'm going to use one on top of that pocket, but I want to do some sort of like banners or something with the different pattern papers that I have here. And these papers are actually from the branding page that you get in the paper pack. There's a really big long branding page that has all the patterns for all the papers that are in the pack, and so I've been using that to get some of the patterns into my projects. That way I can get multiple patterns into my projects without actually cutting into the big 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So that's really handy if you ever get your hands on a Felicity Jane paper pack. Make sure to keep that branding paper on the that sits like on top, like on the front, because you can use it. You can use those little patterns on things. And so I have my little banner, and then I pull out this day by day piece from the ephemera pack because I thought it was fitting. I've been, we've all been just taking the days as they pass, day by day, and so I thought that was nice. So I wanted to use this crepe paper streamer thing on here, and I wanted to put something like that because it makes it look like the pocket is an easel, and then swatches and the easel, the art, I was trying to be clever, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. I ended up doing something else with that crepe streamer, there. But I'm putting down the banners and the butterfly and that little ephemera piece there onto my pocket, and my pocket is basically done. And so now I have to put it on the paper. And so what I end up doing is playing around with the streamer, and I'm gonna do an old trick that I did before on a layout and just kind of wrap it around the paper. It just gives it a little bit of texture. Like, it doesn't really do much but give it some texture, like the whole page some texture. And so I'm just wrapping it around, you know, like gift wrapped almost. And then I'm going to glue my pocket on top of that page there. So for the left-hand page that sits next to my little pocket, I was trying to use this page from the planner, but the Felicity Jane paper is white, like it's very crisp, very white, and this one from the Maggie Holmes planner is a little bit off-white, kind of almost grayish, and it just didn't work very well. And I thought I can like cover up things, but I eventually do something completely different. My pocket and the page, everything is done. And so what I'm doing here, I want to glue that planner page onto the back. And so what I ended up doing is punching the holes first, and I noticed this after I finished punching the holes, that I only needed to punch 2 holes, but I ended up punching all 4 of them. And so I ended up just gluing the entire page like back to back so that it didn't look so weird. But yeah, I even punched through my photograph on the corner a little bit. It was just a hot mess. But I end up putting that card there in the middle. So this is what I mean by I ended up just gluing both pages together so that it didn't look so funny. So I ended up putting that little card there. That is a Seuss Fish printable, and I've had it in there for a while, but I didn't know what to use it for. So what I ended up doing is I took out that Felicity Jane paper again, and I'm going to just mat it onto the paper so that that beautiful mint green pattern shows on the back side, so it's not a white card on the back. And I believe my camera cuts out at some point, but that's basically what I do. I just adhere this card onto the yellow side so that the green side is what shows, and I just cut it out and punch the holes again and just put it back into my book. So you see it here, that's basically it, and that way it breaks up the 2 pages a little bit, and that grayish Maggie Holmes planner page isn't so harsh, you know, compared to the Felicity Jane page. What I'm doing now is looking for a little glacine bag to tuck in this little card. This is a card that Gina from Felicity Jane sent with my first creative team kit, and I wanted to keep that in here. And so I just kind of tucked it into a little glacine bag and glued it straight onto that page. And it's just as simple as that. I go back to my little pocket and just stamp the date on it, and I'm kind of jumping around back and forth because I didn't know what to do for that little glacine pocket, so I just kind of left it there and just went back to my little photo card and stamped the date, and now I'm doing some journaling about what the photo is about and what it represents at this time, and then I will fuss around with that Seuss Fish card and just put a little something on the back of that, on top of the mint paper, because it looks a little plain now. But I guess before I do that, I jump back to the glacine pocket here. again, I was jumping back and forth. I don't really remember how anything was created, but I'm using the scraps. I love using my scraps. Like, if there's one thing that you should have noticed by now, is that this little book is created entirely from paper scraps, because they're just the best things to use and to layer up to create things. But I am just creating a little label with some scraps. This says "lovely little note," and I'm going to put it on top of there and glue that entire thing onto the glycine bag, just so that I know that there's a little note in there for me, you know, for like future me to know that there's a little note in there for me. And that's it. It's really simple. I thought to embellish the little baggie a little bit more with some pieces from the Grace kit, but it just didn't work. It was too much, so I just kind of left it as is. And now I'm finishing off with a little die cut butterfly. These butterflies are actually the Megan cut file that's in the Felicity Jane shop, and I just kind of shrunk it down to fit onto that card there. But yeah, that's it. Those are my little pages in my scrap therapy book. I really hope you enjoyed this process. Thank you so much for watching. Stay well, stay safe, friends, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!